Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Returning Home podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lin Lim. And in today's episode, I just really want to share with you one of my biggest passions that has helped me throughout life, which is surfing. You might be wondering, what does surfing has to do with consciousness, with spirituality? And my response would be, it has everything to do with consciousness, spirituality, and spiritual lessons in life. And so I'm going to share what I've learned through surfing, how I could apply that through going through really hard times in my life, what I've learned from that, and it might help you as well. If you're currently struggling, if you're currently having hard times with anything that life's throwing at you, so if that's something that you love to learn more about, then this episode truly is for you. Without further ado, let's hop right in today's episode. So, like I said, some of you might not know me. I'm very aware that a lot of new people are tuning into my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I'm very excited about the journey that's ahead. I'm very grateful to have you here. And one of the things that you might not know about me is that I'm very passionate about surfing. It is one of my biggest passions in life, and one of the ways that I actually started to awaken, and one of the ways how I let out my inner child, how I connect with nature, with myself, and consciousness. And so, you know, life throws a lot of challenging times at us, and I'm 100% convinced that this is the way it's supposed to be, because life, or Earth, I really see it as a school. We come to our planet, we choose that consciously because there's a certain mission that we want to give out here. And there's a lot that we also want to learn. So there's always something that you learn, something how you grow, and something that you get out of being here, something that you gain. And you all probably know that going through challenges is one of the ways how we learn. And so when you zoom out from your challenge, maybe that's like a comforting way or thing to know that you're exactly where you're meant to be. I wonder if anyone didn't have any challenge in their life, if they were actually on the right path. I don't think it actually exists, because if you just think about it, if you would be living in your comfort all the time, even living in that comfort zone will after a point become a challenge, because you're going to feel like nothing has any meaning anymore. It's like, is this all that there is? So I feel like going through challenges, going through positive and negative experience is part of life. It's part of the waves of life. And we get to serve these waves of life. We get to serve them. We get to play with them. And we get to learn from them if we choose to do that. Now, if you're tuning into my channel, I 100% know that you are one of those people who loves to learn spiritually. You love to challenge yourself spiritually, personally, however you want to view it. You're one of those people who is elevating your consciousness, and you're here to understand the purpose of life, understand the universe, learn from the universe. You're one of those students. And that's why I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that you're here, because I think when we're out and we're searching for answers, it's one of the ways how we find our way back home. My podcast is named Returning Home, and it's called that for a reason, because home ultimately is within us. It's within ourselves. And how do we get to ourselves is through unbecoming the conditioning, unbecoming who we're not. Who we are, our home is already always within. It's always been, it always will be. And through learning, this is what I view challenges as. Going through challenges is kind of having a big or a mini awakening, because if it wasn't a challenge, I think there was not something that we had to learn or wake up from. The way that I view life as is, life is just what it is. It's not good or bad. And the experience or the meaning that we give it just seeing some monkeys walking over there on the roof. Hopefully they're not going to come here. Just now in my recording of my previous episode, one monkey was coming inside, and they're super cute and they're really, really cheeky. Like they know how to get your stuff and all of that, which I think it's funny. And sitting here with all my equipment, it's not the best timing. But something I completely threw myself off there. The meaning that we give life is how we experience it. Experiences are nothing more than just an experience and the meaning that we give it. So the emotions that we feel throughout the experience. If an experience makes us suffer, in my perspective, it means that we are living inside that experience in a way in which we're not fully connected with the truth of what it is. In A Course of Miracles, it said something along the lines, I don't have the quote unfortunately here right now, so take it with a grain of salt. It's not exactly how it's being said, but it says that the universe or God will always try to awaken you from anything that's not God. So anything that's not love, anything that's not true. They say the only truth that there is God, and anything else is simply not true. And everything that we experience as or every illusion of untruth that we create, that we live, will be seen as an opportunity for awakening to the truth. So I believe in a way that a challenge is something that challenges our reality or what we view as reality. If we saw it in the clearest form of what the truth is, we will probably not experience it as a challenge. I'm not saying that to invalidate or invalidate your experience, because I know I've gone through experiences myself. Whatever you feel is valid, okay? Whatever you feel it's real. And so I'm not saying this in a means to deny your emotions or deny your feelings or to deny whatever you're going through, because I know how tough and challenging life can be. And that's why I'm recording this episode, because it is part of our daily existence. It's dealing with things that challenge us. And there's a way of, I think there is a way, or there are ways or things that I've learned to deal with that in an easier way. Obviously, when you're being challenged, it's never easy. It's always uncomfortable, and you're always going to feel a little bit off center. And what I've learned from surfing is that whenever I'm being challenged in the water, it could be many things, right? If you're not a surfer, then I'm just going to draw the image, the painting for you. I'm going to paint the picture. So when you surf, you're basically paddling on a surfboard. Don't know how else to describe that. Like a piece of material that you can ride waves with, and you are exposed, you're in the ocean, it's beautiful, it's magical, there are fish, there are dolphins, there are turtles, depending on where you are, of course. It's clear water and it's just magical. But sometimes it's challenging, because getting to surf a wave, you not only have to read the ocean, often you need to compete with other people, because on every wave there's just room for one person to take it. And if you're in a water with 50 other people or 100 other people, or even if it's 15, you're always going to have to be very, very clever in where you position yourself, not too far on the inside, because then you're gonna get, stuck in the whitewash. Not too far on the outside, otherwise the wave won't pick you up, or people who get first on the wave will get priority and you don't get any wave, you don't catch them. And then when you catch one, you basically you're playing with the wave, you're playing with the flow of the wave. If you're not flowing with the wave will throw you off, or you're not going to make it, or sometimes it happens that out of the blue, this super big set comes and you're unable to dive underneath it, to duck dive, and the set will completely just destroy you. Without it trying to destroy you, of course. But, sometimes you'll be held underwater and you're gonna hurt yourself, or you're gonna touch the reef, or you're gonna fall in your fins or your surfboard. You're going to hurt yourself. Like, it's just part of the game. And those things are challenges. And sometimes when you don't know how the current go, or you don't know how to actually pedal and flow with the ocean, then you're also going to be challenged. And this is what I view challenges as. Life has a way of flowing. Your soul has a natural way of wanting to flow in certain directions, want to expand in certain directions. If we don't listen to what our soul wants, or where the flow of life wants to take us, we're going to experience it as a huge challenge, because we try to go against it with our free will, right? We're going to pedal against it super hard. We're going to move into a direction where we actually want to move into, but it's gonna just, we're moving, we're paddling against the current. We're trying to swim against the current, and it's just not where the current wants to take us. And so with a lot of effort, you'll feel that, you try to make things happen. You try to achieve things, maybe that don't work out. Maybe a lot of things didn't work out. And there's a lot of lessons in there. And then at one point, I think we have to look at, like, wait, is it really aligned? Am I flowing with the flow? And there can be so many different answers to that. It's not like if things aren't working out, then you're not on the right path. But it's one of those challenges. And so one of the ways that we can make our lives easier is to pay attention to life. Pay attention to the synchronicities. Pay attention to your intuition. What is your gut telling you? Not your logical mind, but your gut. If we follow our gut feeling, our intuition, we start to move with the flow of the universe, of life, where life wants to take us for an adventure, for learning, for experiencing, for anything that's you're supposed to experience. That's one metaphor of why I do believe that we are being challenged. And of course, there are 101 reasons why you could be challenged. But what I feel and what I've learned is it's not only with surfing, but just in life, is any time that I was being challenged, and I actually recently came out a huge challenge in my own life. And followed with one of the biggest awakenings that I've been going through. Is that sometimes these challenges, they're just part of you learning about something, you spiritually, personally, physically expanding. And that only can happen when we are being challenged. Meaning that sometimes in the midst of the challenge, you won't make any sense of it. And you might be wondering, what's the lesson in this? What's the lesson in this? What's the lesson in this? Sometimes we cannot think about the lesson that we learn consciously, but we have to experience it. And sometimes that's why we have to allow ourselves to move through the challenge. Because when you're looking back, it will all make sense. When you are paddling or when you're surfing and you're wiped out and you're stuck in the whitewash and you're somewhere underneath the water, you can try to swim, you can try to fight, but you often will feel that you're only going to hurt yourself. If you surrender to the challenge, if you surrender to, okay, I'm just stuck here underwater, I might as well relax until I feel that it's okay to start swimming. That's actually no more sets dropping on my head anymore. Like there's actual space right now. And you're allowing the storms to pass. You're allowing the big sets to pass. You actually save so much energy on fighting it. And I think this is one of the biggest lessons in life that I've learned. It's just sometimes to make a challenge a lot easier, we already make it easier in accepting the emotions that we're feeling around it. If you feel like I'm in this challenge and I want to change it, I want to get myself out of it, I want to know why, and you start to force yourself to feel better, to get out of it, I believe that's how we perpetuate the challenge, because the challenge will only start to ease when there is a sense of acceptance, when there is a sense of surrendering, when there is a sense of accepting your emotions, making space for you, making space for truly just being with that. To find compassion for this humility to life and the universe and things that we just don't know. Sometimes we don't know what a challenge is about until the challenge has completely, fully passed. And that might take a day, it might take a week, it might take a month, maybe it takes years. Through moving through that challenge, you're going to be so much stronger, so much wiser, and you're going to find so much more than you probably know before. And so here's my invitation to meet yourself where you're at in life. Maybe you don't have it all figured out. Maybe not everything in your life is perfect. I may be sitting here in the tropics. Doesn't mean everything is perfect. Doesn't mean I have everything figured out. Doesn't mean that life is instantly better. I had to learn that lesson too. Getting myself into the tropics years ago, still not feeling happy, still not feeling fulfilled. Why? It's because our external circumstances will only change when we change, when we learn, and when we grow, and when we uncover certain layers that are keeping us from experience the truth of who we are and our freedom, our joy, our passion, our connection. So I'm going to leave it at this. I feel like it was a lot in this episode, and my heart goes out to any one of you who's moving through a challenge today, who is experiencing today as a hard day. I'm sending you my love, and I'm inviting you to allow yourself to feel all the emotions. Allow yourself to answer to your needs. Allow yourself to just be. No judgment. Full compassion. And a hug of warm, comforting love. That's it for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And I'm honored to be here on this journey with you, and to be part of a piece of the puzzle, maybe in your life, if this is something that you needed to hear. If you have liked this video, be sure to like this video. If you're tuning in from YouTube, click that like button and share this video with anyone who you think could benefit from my message right now. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're tuning in from Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to give this episode a 5-star review so that this episode will reach more people who need to hear it right now. We're moving through a challenge. And check out my Lightworker merchandise if you haven't already. I'm super excited about how this all turned out. I'm so grateful for everyone who is purchasing it and wearing it and showing it. I know through wearing this merchandise, you will spread a message of love, light, positivity, and awakening with the world that desperately needs it right now. And you'll support me on giving out free content for free 3 times a week. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Keep growing, keep shining, and keep being your beautiful self. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.